Hello friends, welcome to my Cosy Haven. My name is Fiona. I'm really glad you clicked my video today. I'm just going to be chatting about the books that I've read over the last 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks since I chatted to you guys. It's like, where has time gone? You know, it just seems that time is flying. I can't believe that we're going into the last week of May. It's like crazy. It was like my other half was saying to me the other day, excuse me a minute. Just another month and it's like summer solstice. And it's like my favourite time of year is about to stop. And I'm like, mine's about to begin. Woohoo! So yes, we are chalk and cheese in that way, and he's very much spring, summer. I appreciate spring and summer, but I love fall and winter. So it's like we are very much, we split the year between us, which is nice. Have I been doing much? No, I haven't been doing a lot. I've managed to do some reading, which is good. But just haven't done anything. Just done little bits around the house, or just sort of, helped out. But no, it's definitely a time at the moment for me just to still be in recovery phase. I'm doing a lot better, which is good. And I'm feeling better, which is nice. So yeah, so shall we get on with the books that I've read over the last 2 weeks, guys? Because I know that's really why you're here. So the first one is book number 5 of the La Rochelle series by... You would have thought that... never mind. Anyway, by Eleanor M. Brent Dyer, and it's Heather Leaves School. So in this one we meet Heather Raphael, and she's at a boarding school called Ripley, and there the girls, instead of being, shall we say, feminine and etc., have got mouths on them like footballers of that time. They don't really respect each other, they don't respect their teachers, etc., etc., and her parents decide, right, we're gonna pull you out of school. And she's not happy about it, and they go to Guernsey for the summer. And there they meet up with the Templars, the Willoughbys, the Athertons, everybody. And Janie kind of has a wee word with Heather, and just sort of tries to set her straight, as it were. And then we discover that the local vicar's family are going to be coming to the Raphaels to share their governess. And Heather's really not happy about this governess, but the governess turns out to be a really good lady, and she's very on the ball. She makes things interesting for them. I really enjoyed it, actually. I think I gave it 3.5 out of 5. 3.5 or 4 out of 5. I can't remember which, but... I did enjoy it. I liked seeing the development of Heather. I thought she was, from where she started to where she ended was good. So thoroughly enjoyed that one. The next one was book number 6 of La Rochelle, and that's Janie of La Rochelle by Eleanor M. Brent Dyer. So Janie has become a married lady in this one, and this is kind of her first year of marriage, where she and her husband live, how they get on with being married, the fact that, like, the Ozans, the Athertons, the Raphaels, and the Willoughbys all come and they all spend time together over the summer. It was really nicely done. I really enjoyed this one. I gave them some 4.5 out of 5. It was probably one of my favourite ones out of the series. I just really liked seeing the development of Janie from being a child all the way through to now being an adult and married, and how she goes about things and everything, and sort of helping out her sisters. It's really, really nice. It's a good series. I'll talk about the last one in a minute. Actually, I'll just get it now and I'll just put 2 together. So the last one is number 7, Janie Steps In. And in this one we meet Rosamond Willoughby's cousin, Nan Blakeney. Blakeney, yeah. And Nan, because you meet her in the Shelley School series as well. You meet a lot of the characters that have been in the La Rochelle series, you meet them in the Shelley School. But Nan has recently lost her mother, and her father, his way of coping is to is to go abroad, or that's what she thinks. But he's actually gone abroad for his own health because his health is not good. And Nan goes to stay with Rosamond, and Rosamond's a lovely character, she's a lovely lady, but it's not really what Nan needs. So Rosamond and her husband decide, they get in touch with Janie and say, will you take her? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. So Nan comes to Guernsey, and it's the people she meets in Guernsey, how she develops as a character, how she faces what she has to face in the end, and faces it in a healthy way, not an unhealthy way. Also, it's like, as I say, she's helped so much by Janie and by the people that Janie's sisters and like their children. It was really, really lovely. I again gave this one 4.5, 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really good end to the series. And I'm now very glad that I've read the whole of that series, because I can now start you can put characters into the Shelley School now as to where they're supposed to be, and you can understand where they came from, which is really, really nice. You don't have to read the La Rochelle series to enjoy the Shelley School, absolutely not. But it's nice that you can see those connections and where they come about. So I'm really glad that I've actually read that whole series, and I think that whole series that I've the ones that I read this month anyway, do for middle grade, virtually all the prompts for middle grade May. So I'm like, yes. So that's lovely that I've managed to participate. I wanted something completely different from La Rochelle, because I thought, well, I've done, it's been quite heavily middle grade. I wanted something else, and I wanted something very light. I'm really sorry about the yawning, guys. It was not a good night's sleep last night, so never mind. And I spied this one on my shelf. It was with my Christmas books that I didn't read last year. And one of my lovely friends sent it to me. And I thought, I'm going to read it. Guys, Christmas Corpse by Mona Marple. And this is book number 1 in the Candy Cane Hollow series. I loved this one. I read this one I think it was one evening plus the rest of the next day. So basically I'm counting it as one day. This was absolutely beautiful. So Hollywood is on her way home for Christmas, and she ends up in a car. Her car goes off the road, and she's rescued by this woman called Mrs. Claus and taken to Candy Cane Hollow. And Holly has never known that this existed, but not everybody gets to see it. And Mrs. Claus looks after her and makes her well, but while she's there, somebody is murdered, and Mrs. Claus is the chief suspect. But you know that Mrs. Claus hasn't done it. You absolutely know she hasn't done it. And Holly decides, with the help of Mrs. Claus's son Nick, yes, he is. Nick is the new Santa, because Daddy Santa, Mr. Claus, has retired, so Nick is taking over. So we see the two of them working together, and we learn about what Candy Cane Hollow is and how it works, how it all comes together for Christmas Eve. Oh, it was delightful. It was so good. I give this one 5 out of 5, and as soon as I finished it, I ordered book 2, which arrived yesterday. And I'm going to collect the whole of the series because it is such a delightful, delightful series. If this place was real, oh my gosh, I would love to go. It just sounds so nice, and the characters are beautiful, like elves and everything. Oh, if you haven't read this one and you're looking for something for maybe Christmas in July, this would definitely be one for you. So I then decided I wanted to be something a wee bit more summery, and I picked up Bella Tuscany by Frances Mays. This is book number 2 in the Tuscany series, or duology, because there's this one and then before that Under the Tuscan Sun. So this is more that Bramisol is livable, they are spending more time there. It's also about the changes they are making to it, to the garden. It's still the people they meet and the places they go, the food they taste, what they grow. Oh, I really enjoyed this one. I gave this one 4 out of 5. Just the way that she talks about, going out into the garden and picking these fresh tomatoes and making a caprese salad with the basil that they've bought, and then the local buffalo mozzarella. I was like, can I just come stay? Can I please just come stay? It sounded so nice, and just the various festivals and saints' days and the food that goes with them, and going to Florence and what they do in Florence and where they go and what they see, where they eat. They went to Sicily, and it was their thoughts on what they saw in Sicily and what they ate in Sicily. I'm not joking, guys. This book makes me hungry. This book makes me want to pasta, salads, gelato, the whole gambit. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed sort of how, getting more information as to what they found, how they did up the house, what decisions they made about how things were going to be, and how they wanted the garden to be, and the people that come to help them. If you haven't read these books, I would highly, highly recommend them. I've seen Under the Tuscan Sun, the film, and although it's lovely, it's really nice, I much prefer the books. They are just so much better. But no, thoroughly enjoyed this one, and definitely makes me want to go to Tuscany. I love it. I really like Italy. I've been to Italy once. I want to go back, but I would love to go to Tuscany. I want to go to Florence. I do definitely want to go to Assisi. And the reason being for that is that when I was way back in school, high school, for one of my exams, I used, one of my English exams, I used Norman McCaig's poem Assisi, which is based on St. Francis. And I really loved it, and from that moment on, I've always wanted to go to Assisi. So that's, it's nice because she does mention Assisi as well, so I'm like, oh right, that's lovely. So there's a tie in there which is very, very nice. I really like that. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw a wee tidbit in. I then went back to Christmas, and another book that I got from a friend, the same book that sent me the Mona Marple, and that's Helen Rolfe's Christmas at the Village Sewing Shop. I gave this one 4.5 out of 5. So we meet Loretta, and Loretta has been running the Butterbury Sewing Shop for all her life, and she's helped run it by her daughter Daisy. Daisy has 2 other sisters, in Ginny and in Fern, and they're both older. And when they were younger, their father passed away. And Fern kind of took on the mantle while her mother was grieving of, being the one in control, doing everything. And Fern is still very much a control person. She's married with 2 boys and strives to be perfect in her work and in her family life. But could it be that her control is slipping? Ginny is a midwife, and she's travelled the world, and she does midwifery, she travels with that, she also travels just to travel. But could it be that she's wanting to set down roots? Daisy is creative and she takes beautiful photographs, but is working the shop which she loves, but she's thinking, is there maybe more? They also have a grandfather who lives in the local retirement housing complex, and he's lovely. He's really nice. And he and Loretta come up with a plan to bring Fern and Ginny back home for Christmas, but come home earlier than they would have been normally doing. For Fern, it means leaving her husband and her 2 boys and her taking time off from her work. For Ginny, it's a welcome break for her because she's between travel and between midwifery jobs. So it's maybe a time for her to start thinking about things. And various things happen, and the sisters have to deal with a lot of things that happened in their past and come to terms with things. They also have to relearn how to be sisters and how to get on with one another, to appreciate each other, appreciate their mum and their grandfather, and to appreciate the village in which they were brought up. It was beautifully written. I really, really liked it. I'm going to say that there is a trigger warning in this for... It is not on page, it happened before the story started, but there was infidelity. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. So if that's not... If you don't want to have that kind of, shall we say... in the background, then this is maybe not the book for you. But I honestly, guys, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I read this in a day and a half. It just sucked me in. I really like Helen Rolfe as a writer, and I've read a number of her books now sent to me by my friend, and I'm really glad I've read them because I really like her style of writing. So yeah, so this was another really good one. And the last one I read, which I finished last night, was The Coming Age of the Shalley School by Eleanor M. Brent Dyer. This is the point I'd got to in my kind of reread of a certain stage in the school. And I was waiting in this one to be republished. The reason I waited for this one is because this one is unabridged. And the copy I have is abridged. So I actually got to read the whole of it, and I loved it. So the Shalley School's coming of age is 21, and as part of their celebrations, each year group is being taken back to Austria, to the Turnsey Lake and Breisau, where the Shalley School started. The prefects are really excited because on their trip, going with them are not members of staff, but Joy Bettany, or Joy Maynard as she is now, and her 3 friends who at school were Frida Mensch, Simone Berzac, and Mary... can't even remember Mary's... Oh my goodness, what was Mary's flippin' name when she was at school? It doesn't matter, I don't think. Does it tell me here? Yeah, Frida Mensch, Simone Lecoutier, and Marie von Eschenau. So the 4 best friends are going back with the prefect, and we get their whole weekend back in Austria. The people they meet and become reacquainted with. Joy makes a decision for her family and for her friends. We also get to experience the coming of age, other celebrations like the school sale, the sports day, the giving of the Joy Maynard prize, which is not given out every year. And we find out something about another couple of characters as well. I loved this. It was just, I just get to read the whole story, which is beautiful. I was so happy. And then at the back, because of the book, Catherine Bruce has written a short story called A Grand House Party, which is for for the main big event, Madge Bettany comes back, who was the founder of the Shelley School, Madame to everybody. And all as many old girls as possible came as well, but there were some that couldn't manage it. So Catherine wrote a short story of Madge back in Wales having a gathering of old mistresses and old girls who couldn't go out to Austria, and it was beautiful to read that as well. It was so nice to sort of kind of catch up with characters that you've loved from the very beginning, and to just sort of see where they're at, you know, and see what they're doing. What was lovely in Catherine's one, that she made reference to the Shelley School Peace League. So you kind of, it gave you pause to also remember the characters who, during the Anschluss and the Second World War, didn't make it. So you had that brevity as well, which was really nicely done. And, you know, you got some of that as well within the actual, you know, the story that, when the old girls came back, you know, you knew that they were thinking of those who hadn't made it. So it was really nicely done. So, yeah, so I think at the moment, I'm possibly going to stop here for the moment with the Switzerland stories. If you see that grey book there, that is a brand new filler for the Shelley School. It's the Shelley School in Peril by Catherine Bruce, which is set during, or just before, or no, it's actually during the time of the Shelley School in exile. And I'm not yet there with kind of my reread of the Austria books. So I think if I am going to go back to the Shelley School in the next while, my next one is Rivals of the Shelley School, and I know that is a weepy one. And I'm not in the headspace for that at the moment. So at the moment, I think I'm saying this at the moment, you know me guys, you'll probably find me in the next 2 weeks I'll be reading the Shelley School, but I'd quite like to maybe have a wee break for a while. So that's all I've been reading. So what am I reading just now? I'm still reading Stillwater, Still Meadow Sampler. I'm now on page 28. I just read a couple of pages a day, and I like that. I know I really should read more this week, because I really should get to page 62 before the end of the month, so that, you know, I can then start summer. But you know what, it's not a race. I don't have to do it that way. It doesn't matter if spring takes me into June for a bit. It really doesn't matter. But yes, still tabbing, which is lovely. And then I started last night The Secret Seaside Escape by Heidi Swain. This is part of her Windmouth series. So yes, what am I on? I'm on page 46, just finished 46. So I'm about to start chapter 4. So I'm really looking forward to reading more of this. It's going to be very interesting, I think. So that's kind of what I'm reading at the moment. I have a Bella Grace magazine on the go as well. And I'm still reading my Donna Ashworth To the Women, which I try and do every morning. But that's it for this video. Please come chat with me down in the comments. What have you been reading the last 2 weeks? I'd love to know. Have any of the books I've mentioned sounded interesting to you? I would love to know if you would like to read any of them. It'd be nice to know. What have you decided to do a TBR for summer, or are you just going to mood read? I am probably just going to mood read. I've got two summer books, 3 summer books, 4 summer books up there. But I know that if you look up there and that, oh gosh, I'm doing that way. I see that book there, The Other Bennett Sister. I'm buddy reading that with my friend Rebecca. Colourful Book Nester. We start that a week on Monday, and that's going to be for the whole of June. and I'm really looking forward to it. Part of me was wondering, do I read Pride and Prejudice at the same time? And I'm like, no, you might just get yourself too bogged down in, Austenism, as it were. But it's a thought. I would like to know, I have up there The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Has anyone read that? I would really like to know, should I read it? I really enjoyed The Mysterious Bakery on Rue de Paris, and I've read one of her other books as well. It was okay. Should I read that one? I got it as a freebie anyway, so if I don't read it, it's not a biggie. It's not a big deal, but I would love to know. So come chat with me down in the comments if you've read that. But that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, I'd love you to give it a thumbs up. On your way down to come chat with me in the comments, if you haven't already, I would love you to hit that subscribe button and and also the notification bell. Just tells you when I'm bringing out new videos, and also helps my channel to keep growing, which is great. The more I'm getting better, the more I'm hoping to come back to maybe doing at least one video a week, which would be nice. But I'm not promising that at the moment. It's something I am working towards, because I do enjoy doing them, and I miss speaking to you guys. But that's it for the moment. I will see you in 2 weeks' time, if not sooner. We'll just wait and see how it goes. But that's it for the moment. Whatever you do, guys, stay safe and happy reading. Bye.